motherfucking Andy.
Just hanging around
with some local motherfuckers in the dazzle den. If you're in a local band and you're passing through town, stop by after this.
when the creepies come out.
You're at the dazzle den
With those creepy motherfuckers.
You're at the dazzle den
With those creepy motherfuckers.
You're at the dazzle den
With those creepy motherfuckers.
You're at the dazzle den
With those creepy
movie star.
All right, welcome to Unsigned518's Halloween special, part 2. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up for you, and I think we're just going to jump right into it with a song. This is a song from the Pine Boys, and the cover of their album, the album is called Vacation Land, and it is very clearly an homage to the yellow sign of Camp Crystal Lake as seen in the Friday the 13th movies. And I really love the Pine Boys. One of my first album reviews for Metroland was Pine Boys' latest EP, Gleam. And as I, listened to that and reviewed that, I kind of got going back and listening to their old songs. And this was back in August, I think. Yeah, August. Yeah, it was like in August. And I knew, yeah, when the Halloween episode comes out, I'm playing Lunatic by the Pine Boys. So here's Lunatic by the Pine Boys on Unsigned 518 Halloween special.
Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Pa told the story, it was passed down. It was the first year, this place was a town. The men met in the town square, everybody's scared. There was no way they could have prepared. Kids had gone missing, nowhere to be found. They brought guns, brought bang the bloodhound. Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Not sick, he's lunatic. Drank from the moonshine like he was addicted. Spent a full month since he was afflicted. Was a full moon when he was bitten. Curse was much worse than the folklore written. Tore off his clothes. Had the wolf go from his head to his toes. Hungry, had to eat, but not from the woods, in the streets. Ate up some kids, ate up a teacher. No one ever saw this here type of creature. Then old man Joe came down from the hill, said a box of silver bullets and it will be chill, yo. Silver bullet to the dome, yo. Silver bullet to the dome, yo.
Pine Boys with Lunatic here on Unsigned 518's Halloween special. And I've got a lot of stuff to get to in this second part. The first episode ended up being 90 minutes, and this episode will probably be something similar. Maybe close, maybe a little more, a little less. Who fucking knows? But anyway, I think we should just keep chugging along. And we're going to come right back and we're going to talk to Maddie from Nerdy by Nature in downtown Troy. It's an oddity shop. It's so fucking cool if you're even vaguely into oddities. And I mean, I love the stuff, and they've got serial killer stuff. They've got horror stuff. They've got, non spooky stuff. I saw that they had like some teas and they had some clothes, and they've got a ton of vendors. But anyway, we'll be right back, and I'm gonna play my conversation that I had with Maddie. We're actually sitting in a car, my car, on Ferry Street, just because it was the best place to record a podcast when you're in downtown Troy and you need a nice quiet place. So we'll be right back with my conversation with Maddie of Nerdy by Nature here on Unsigned518's Halloween special.
What's up, everybody? This is writer-director here from upstate New York, Frank Palangi, bringing you guys a new horror film this season called Souls of the Damned. It is my third independent horror movie. You guys can check out that movie on Tubi, as well as the other movies, The Lost Chronicles and The Killer Tales. All streaming for free. So guys, if you can go and check it out, I hope you have a nice and scary Halloween. Check out Palangi Films, and I will see you guys soon.
So I am here with Maddie of Nerdy by Nature, and we're sitting in my car on Ferry Street, just because, it's air conditioned. It's fairly soundproof, but how's it going, Maddie?
It's good, going good, Andy. Happy Halloween, spooky season.
Yes, and I just checked out Nerdy by Nature for the first time,
You did.
10 minutes ago, and I made a purchase.
What did you get?
I got a piece of a piece of rock or a piece of concrete from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre filming location, and it's all got the authenticity and whatever. So it's going to look super good. You'll have to come up to my place sometime because I've got my spooky shelf.
I was super excited about trying to get up there, and it didn't work this time. But I definitely want to check out your studio. It looks cool as fuck.
It's actually just my garage. Oh yeah, my theme song says "motherfucker."
Okay, all right, good. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. No,
Censored.
you can definitely
Beep.
swear. No censoring here. What was I just saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually a garage.
That's
Like it
looks
I
cool.
call it my studio, and it's got a lot of lights in it, but it
looks
it's
cool.
just a garage. That's why I keep the low lights on, because when you put the lights up and like regular
A
lights,
real
you're
just
like,
scatter.
you're like, oh, it's a garage.
It's a
You know?
garage.
Like, it's got carpets and everything,
Yeah.
but it's a garage. Yeah, we call it the Dazzled Den. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the Dazzled Den. First, I want to talk about the store, but then also because you like horror movies, I like horror movies.
Love them.
It's a spooky episode. We're going to talk about probably some spooky movies.
I'm
But
here for that.
tell me, I guess, a little bit about Nerdy by Nature.
Oh man. Okay. Well, Nerdy by Nature is if you guys haven't been there, it's a little oddity shop. I like to refer to it as our little satanic hideaway. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of stuff from haunted antiques, weird clown stuff, taxidermy. Yes, Art the Clown. Art the Clown is Terrifier is one of Shauna's favorite movies. It's absolutely fantastic.
I was just pointing to my air conditioner. I keep sometimes forgetting it's not a video.
I know.
podcast. I have an Art the Clown air conditioner.
We have everything from that. Human remains. We have metaphysical supplies, ritual supplies for you. It's pretty cool. I'm super excited to be part of the shop. It's never in my life did I think I would be, but I've never fit in much more than here. So
It was one of the a lot of the times when I check out, if I'm checking out a new store, I'm like checking it out, looking at everything. But I don't know if you saw me walking around. I had the biggest grin on my face. Like I couldn't help it. I was just like, to see, like you said, fitting in, like to see the type of shit that because if I say to somebody, oh yeah, Otis Tool, they'll be like, who,
Yeah.
who? Or if you're like, yeah, Ed Gein's this, what,
Yeah.
but I like all that, like, deep spooky shit and true crime and
dark history. No, and that honestly, it warms our cold little hearts because that's exactly what we were going for. We wanted a place that people would walk in and just smile and, from the darkness and be excited about the things that we have. We really wanted to push the envelope with what retail looked like and what
Right.
the retail experience was. And I think we're doing a really good job at that.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed too. You had a couple of Necronomicon boxes,
Yep.
just like little keepsake
Yeah.
boxes, which
There's
are
like-
fucking
We
rad.
even have like notebook ones that you can open up and take to school, and
no way.
yeah, for sure. Like keep that spooky stuff on you on hand at all time.
And then there was another one that really stood out to me was the old phone, and it had like the pottery mouth with the tongue coming out from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Shauna
The-
made that, and like she had spun her idea before she started it, and I was like, yeah, cool, like I'm here for it.
Oh, that's
I did
great.
not imagine that it was gonna come out that cool, and I think it's one of my favorite scenes from Nightmare on Elm Street. What is like,
I'm
it's
your
like,
boyfriend
I'm
now,
your
Nancy."
boyfriend now, Nancy, and he sticks his tongue in her mouth like through the phone, and like. That's the kind of horror that just like
Yeah.
speaks to everybody in the shop. You know what I mean? And it's nailed that piece. It's such a cool, rad piece. All hand sculpted, obviously. Besides the phone, it's
Right.
all hand sculpted, all hand done.
It's so rad.
Even the flooring and the paint, like all of it. It's such a cool piece of work.
Yeah, so come in just to check the shit out. But Nightmare on Elm Street, like for me, like I said, I'm 51. So when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, I was 11, and I saw that movie. I remember vividly. My dad had gone to sleep. My dad and my stepmom had gone to sleep. And I didn't have to like sneak out of my room or whatever, but like they weren't privy to my plan. and I went out at 11:30 p.m. to watch Nightmare on Elm Street because it was on like HBO or Cinemax or one of those, and I fucked myself up for life.
You're like, I know you knew I wasn't awake,
Right?
but
Like,
I need your help.
right. No, because I couldn't, and I just remember, I wanted to stick it out and I wanted to watch the entire movie, and I watched the entire movie, and then for weeks I had, had
Right.
trouble sleeping, and
I'm jealous of people who have these memories, like childhood memories of horror movies. I grew up super Christian, and so I wasn't really even allowed to see those kinds of movies. I didn't discover horror until probably my early 20s.
Oh wow.
And it totally changed my life, and I was super excited about it. I had already been kind of like in the punk rock scene and then listening to hardcore music, and so it just like fit into that dark rock punk edge that I love. And I always consider like horror like the punk rock of the film industry.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
And I mean, in some case, there's even like some horror, obviously Misfits come to mind. But I was the same way with punk music, except for it was the opposite. I discovered horror movies when I was like, like I said, 11 or
yeah.
whatever. And it wasn't until I was like maybe 13, it was like probably a couple years later that I got a mixtape from a buddy of mine who was a skateboarder, and it had like Circle Jerks and Descendants and Adolescents and DRI and like all these like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know any of the artists, but I listened to that tape so much, and then punk
That's-
rock's been my shit since then. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in church, the Christian hardcore movement was really, really big at the time. You had Under Oath, you had Zaya, you had, I think Life in Your Way was one of the bands. But it wasn't until I moved to a new school where I actually got a CD. It was very similar. It wasn't a mixtape, but it was a burnt CD of just a whole bunch of like post-hardcore. It had like Me Without You, it had At the Drive-In, it had the Blood Brothers, and all these bands just became huge staples into
Right.
like how I formed the rest of my life and how I ended up here. So
Nice. That's awesome.
we talked about Refused, Shape of
Yeah,
Punk
yeah,
to
yeah,
Come,
yeah.
and what's that song? New Noise. They had New Noise and Refused Party Program, and those like it was downhill from there, uphill depending on
What
who you
was
were.
that one? Oh, it was the fucking it was from the Bear that used what song is that? That's not New Noise, is it? Or is it? Yeah, that is New Noise.
We want a bread.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We want a
In the
bread, New
Bear,
Noise.
they kept using that like in like one of the seasons.
I haven't
like,
seen Bear, but
oh,
that
well,
makes me want to
they
watch it even
use that
more.
song like throughout the whole season.
I love it.
Like it's
I love
amazing.
it. That means I have to check
I
it out
caught
even
them
more.
like because I like Deftones a lot, and I told you we'd veer off.
I'm here
off
for it.
subject.
This
I'm like,
is
we're
the
gonna veer
conversation.
off
Yeah,
subject.
right. We'll circle back eventually.
Totally. But I caught Deftones at one of the casinos in Connecticut, whichever one it was, Turning Stone or whatever. But I didn't even look at who was opening. Had no idea. And and the opening band comes out, and it was the fucking Refused.
Oh my God.
Like I was like,
I
holy
would've-
shit! And
yeah,
the dude
I
I
would've
went
lost
with
my
was like,
brain.
I've never even heard of these guys, and I was
Like,
like
I have.
shouting every word.
Yes.
I'm like, I have. Like,
I love that.
Yeah,
I think I told you we had, I think message or commented back and forth on one of our posts, and that happened with me for Foxy Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
I was a huge fan of them, and I went to a random show. It was probably like Every Time I Die or something, and they. I looked at the bill. I walked in. It was when Step Up presents. So they're still a thing, but they handed me one of the super long flyers they used to have, and I was like, "Oh, this is today's show." And I looked, and I was like, "Foxy Shazam, Foxy Shazam." I was like, "Yeah, I was super excited." The kid, the dude, like ate a pack of cigarettes on stage, and like it was fantastic.
That's rad. All right, so back to spooky shit. Favorite horror movie?
Ooh, I have to say, honestly, I have to say Scream. Like, that's the one I will go to, and I'll watch the whole entire franchise, back to back. But Scream 1 is obviously my favorite. I have Casey Becker, Drew Barrymore's character, tattooed on my arm.
Oh, nice.
So it's like her like holding the phone and
Some
like
intestines coming out
yeah,
of there?
being disemboweled, and her little ugly cream sweater, cream turtleneck. I love it. I love how aware of itself it was. And I thought they just did a great job with introducing this really campy horror meta approach to a slasher film.
Yeah. One of the reasons, like, I'm clearly a little older. Like, when Scream came out, I was in my early 20s, probably 23. What was it, 96?
I think so. That
Yeah,
sounds
so I
about
was
right.
like 23 or whatever. So I was like a little older, and by that time I was like,
Neck deep.
had a bunch of years of being in. And Friday the 13th Part 1 is my only all-time favorite horror movie, but probably my all-time favorite movie. Like, I just love that movie. I've been to the location. I've been, I'm like, I love that shit. And I appreciated Scream the first time I saw it because everybody, when I think it's Stu is doing the questions, and he says, like, in Friday, who was the killer in Friday the 13th? And everybody's like, Jason. And I remember the people that I was watching it with were like, it's fucking Jason. And I was like,
Nope.
and then,
She's
when he was
dead.
like, no, it was his mother in the first one.
If you watch
And I
this
was
movie,
like,
you'd know that.
yeah. And I was like, right from there, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I love this movie.
Yeah, and I like how he calls her. I was like, because I think she said that's her favorite movie.
Right, yeah.
And like he was like, if that was your favorite movie, you'd like
know
that. Like,
yeah.
I love that.
And also, I don't know, like, she wasn't Pamela until, what was it, Part 3, I think? She was just Mrs. Voorhees in Part 1, for sure. And I think it was like they added the first name Pamela. And I think it was 3 when they started calling her Pamela or whatever. But.
So I always find this like part of like movie and horror history. So were you like, did you go see that in theaters like when it was new? Like, I don't know when that came out and how old.
No, the way I got into Friday the 13th was actually a VHS copy that I had, that I got at like a yard sale or something when I was like 12 or whatever, and because that was made when I was 7.
I wasn't sure. I was like
pretty
trying to
young
think of when it came
made.
out. And
1980 it
Okay.
came out, and I was born in 73. But anyway, I got a VHS copy of it, and I watched it a million times. And at that point, I didn't even like. Not that I like didn't care that it didn't have Jason in it, but like Jason was still current and big.
Yeah.
Like I think Part 4 had just come out, so he was like peak.
there was a character following there.
But
yeah.
I still really, even though he wasn't, but I couldn't really tell, like,
You got some lore there. You
I
got
like
like
the
a
original,
little bit of
you
it. Yeah,
know?
exactly. And it's so cool that it was on this like VHS copied, like probably recorded off the television. Like,
it was like an actual like had like a box, had like a box. I mean,
okay.
it was tattered and everything.
Yeah.
Because I remember on the back it had like picture, like the little pictures, and it had one of Kevin Bacon with a fucking arrow
my
coming
God.
out through his neck or whatever.
Such a great kill.
And I sat, probably not the same bed, but I sat on a bed in the exact spot that kill happened.
That's
like
so freaking cool.
Like it was
I love
unreal.
that.
Yeah.
Speaking of VHS copy tapes, have you ever seen VHS or like
Yeah.
any of the
Yeah.
VHS
Yeah.
movies? That's probably one of my like favorite modern franchises. It's a little mix, hit or miss, but I just love the concept, and I love like I'm a found footage junkie.
Yes.
Like I even some of the ones that I probably shouldn't like. I like them. I just love the concept of like finding.
I like it because I
these
like
events.
that the lower budget, like the less reliant, and unfortunately, like Paranormal Activity, I don't know how you feel about that one, but that one let me down so fucking much. And what let me down was the marketing of it. And it was like the most terrifying thing ever.
hate
The
that.
scariest movie since The
Yeah.
Exorcist. And I was like,
I
so
think
I
that
went and saw it
ruins-
like the minute it came out, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was so mad. I wanted my time back. And if they had just been like, hey, here's this cool low budget movie that we made on a shoestring budget that is half the cost of most craft service tables,
Yeah.
I would have been like, wow, that was amazing.
100%.
know?
I honestly feel like those ads and pushes where it's like scariest movie of the decade. It's a
don't
hole
do
in the
that.
boat.
Yeah.
Instantly a hole in the boat for me. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that was like my idea. Because I feel like if you take a look at like a movie like that came out recently, Skinamarink, have you seen that?
Yeah.
That was a hot take. That was a huge letdown for me. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting to be unexpected, I guess, and it went nowhere for me.
Right.
And I was so let down because everyone was like, "This is like the craziest movie. It's like exactly what you want found footage to be." And I was like,
Yeah,
I
wish
had to
people
watch
would
it
tone it
three
down.
and a half times because I had to stop it each time.
Like, I feel like people think that they're like hyping the movie up and that it's going to get people into it, but I'm like, no, just like I want a realistic expectation. Just
Yeah.
and especially like I said with Paranormal Activity, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it was atmospheric and creepy, and the fact that it was made on this really low budget and like is really fucking, and the scenes where she's just standing there, you're like, that actress was standing there for hours,
Right.
when they did the sped up footage. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's commitment.
No,
But,
100%.
like,
I see. Yeah, I had fallen in love with Paranormal Activity. I think it's because at that point I was like downloading torrents. Don't come for me. Don't come for me, government. It's
too late.
Yeah, right. It's already on the podcast. I was downloading torrents, and I think I had downloaded it, and I ended up watching it. And like, I was staying at my parents' house at the time, and like their spare bedroom up in the corner of the house, and I was alone. And I think I watched it at like 3:00 in the morning, and it just hit
Right.
at that moment, and I bought into it. But I can totally see why people, it's one of those. It's like a slow burner. Like you have to like be into it and be waiting for that next moment. I thought they did a great job with like the sound design. Like they did that, like, forget what they call it, but like that little hum, that like
the like brown noise
yeah,
or whatever.
and it just like sets you up to like be looking for something
Yeah.
on the screen.
I saw this. There was it was some show where they did like an experiment to like on paranormal shit or whatever, and they took two groups in this controlled setting. I think it was like an abandoned hospital or whatever, and they had these groups. In the first group, they would say, they would tell them both the same story. In this hospital, like all this crazy shit happened. It's super haunted.
Right.
They'd set them up, and then they'd tour them through. And then the second group, same story, but they had all these speakers that were hitting them with this really low, can't even pick it up with your ear, really low noise.
Yeah.
And every single one of them experienced dread.
Oh my god!
Like every single one of
It
them.
works.
And like they were basically like, this noise, just like your brain. So
it works.
the filmmakers knew that shit like
Yeah.
that worked, because it does. It like,
Yeah.
sets you. That's why music is so effective in movies. Because
Yep.
without it, it's fucking
100%.
nothing.
100%.
So the original found footage Blair Witch Project, I actually got
Some
to
peop-
see that in L.A.
Oh,
the
that's
night
cool.
it came out, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's honestly like, and that's kind of where it started for me. and it was, I think they did that movie so just like how they built up the tension between the characters, and you didn't know really what was going on. You barely heard things yourself.
Right.
Like, did that really happen? Like, are they making, like, are they just freaked out? And then that last scene, like the basement when she goes in, like, it just like standing in the corner, it was like, and then it just ends and you're like,
I mean, just fucking chills like on my entire body.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just being like, and that was, I had no expectations.
and I remember they marketed that like it was
real.
as real as
and
they
I mean,
could,
I
you
knew
know?
it wasn't because they put out the Curse of the Blair Witch, the like documentary on it. Have you seen that? Dude, look it up.
Okay.
It's awesome. They do a documentary as if it's totally real. Like, it came out actually before the movie, but it came
sneak
out on the
attack.
Sci-Fi Channel. So I was like, wait a minute. And then, like, the internet existed then, and I was like, oh, wait, okay. So I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't real going in, but it was still so effective, man.
No, I mean, it was definitely very, very effective. A very effective movie. And it's one of those movies I don't think they'll ever make anything like it again.
No.
Like, not to even say same plot or anything, but like it was definitely genre defying.
Yeah.
Like,
And what they put those actors through, like,
yeah.
they were out there by themselves, and like they'd really like the scene where they like wake up and like they go to sleep, and then all of a sudden the camera comes on and you hear them talking about what was that, and then you hear like noises and like fucking baby crying and
Yeah.
like shit. That was the directors literally would wait until the actors went to actual sleep,
Oh my God.
and then would go out and fuck with them.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
love
like,
that.
So like when they're waking up going, and like you hear, and they're like, "Is that a fucking baby?" Like that's literally her being like, "What the fuck?
Right, what is
Like,
going on? Right,
yeah.
you've been out here lost in the cold for the last two and a half days. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. But as imagine how much fun those filmmakers
Oh,
have.
right.
Like,
I
I,
love
think they're
that.
asleep.
And I think
Fire up the
that's-
baby.
And you hear that in so many, so many back, behind the scenes movie footages where they, for instance, I haven't seen it yet, but they talk about Longlegs and like how Nicolas Cage didn't show himself like to the
Yeah.
actress in full character. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But like until the character met him,
I've seen
So,
what
like,
he looks. I've seen the makeup. I don't know.
I've
if you've
seen drag versions of it.
Oh.
Bitch put and did a drag version of it. So I only have like that extremity of it. But yeah, no, I have to see it still, but I'm super, super excited about it. Those are nerdy shoppers. Hi, nerdy shoppers.
Hi. They're looking at us like they're like, "What the fuck are those dudes doing?"
Right, with the bright orange microphones in their faces. Love it. I'm here for it. But yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, she's got a Friday the 13th sweater on. Definitely nerdy shoppers.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
hopefully. But yeah, no. So I think that's I always love hearing that. It's like when, and what was also Scream. I think like the guy who did like the phone, like the voice of Ghostface on the phone. No one ever met him or saw him. Like just
Right.
got the phone calls from him. So like getting those phone calls from this weird like, what's your favorite scary movie? Like it's like, okay, like I'm here. I'm in this moment right now. There's cameras in front of me, but I'm here.
yeah. And that's how you get a good performance. you know?
Yep.
Well, I think we might have shot the shit enough, so we can kind of wrap it up. But
All right.
before we go, is there anything you want to say to the folks?
Yeah, guys, come on down to Nerdy by Nature. You guys are we're excited for you guys to introduce you guys to our your new favorite haunt, as I like to say. It's spooky, it's creepy. We're super welcoming. We want everybody to come and enjoy this and find a space for themselves. It's all about celebrating all of our weirdness and uniqueness and the weird things that we're all into. And I think that just about everybody will be able to find something that they fall in love with at Nerdy by Nature, if you can stomach the weird stuff. So that's always the question: is if you're okay with being surrounded by the weird shit, you're gonna find something you love no matter what.
Yeah, and in my case, I love the weird shit, and I found something immediately when I walked in.
I love it. Yes, and that's
I was like, "Oh, I want that." And then I was like, "Wait, no, seriously, I want that. Can you hold
put
that
it right behind the
counter?" You
register.
know?
No, and like that's honestly the experience. Like not just about the shopping, but just about coming in and feeling like you're seen and feeling like you got a place. You know what I mean? People always reference us like, oh, it's like what Hot Topic really wanted to be.
Right.
And we're like, that's like the biggest compliment, but coming from like, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, little misfit teen rats, being being told that we're what Hot Topic wanted to be, we're like, we did it. Like
Yeah.
that's the compliment.
Yeah,
So
fuck yeah. All right, well, cool. Well, Maddie of Nerdy by Nature, and wait, actually, where are you located?
oh yeah, downtown Troy, New York, 99 Ferry Street. We're open every day but Monday and Tuesday. So if you hit up our Instagram, Nerdy by Nature Company, we'll have our hours of operation. Also on our Google listing has our hours of operation as well. So
Hell yeah. All right, well, cool. Thank you so much.
awesome, Andy. It was so awesome meeting you and chatting with you. We'll talk soon.
All right, that was my conversation with Maddie of Nerdy by Nature, and go check them out, 99 Ferry Street. So cool, such a great place. I met Maddie, his husband Scotty, I met Allison, and they were all just so friendly and welcoming, and like as soon as you walked in, you were just like, oh yeah, this is the kind of vibe I can get behind. And like I think Maddie in that interview, it said it was like what Hot Topic wishes they were, and it really was, because literally like I walked in and I could have spent $1,000 without even blinking if I wanted to. There was so many things that I was like, would like that. I would take that. I would take that. So go check them out. Nerdy by Nature, super, super cool people, and a very inclusive, welcoming environment. And I really fucking dig that. So Nerdy by Nature, 99 Ferry Street in downtown Troy. So right now we are actually going to hear a premiere. This song actually dropped at the same time that this episode dropped, so it's available everywhere, dropped on Halloween. Michael Dillinger of the band Gozer. He's the lead singer of Gozer. He has a solo project, and this is the first single. It's called Revenant, and I was very fortunate, just a couple hours ago to be literally like the first one to hear the song. He sent it over and let me know that nobody else has really heard the completed version, and he sent it over and said that I was free to premiere it on the episode. So after you hear it on this episode and you go, holy shit, this song is awesome, you can go on all the streaming services. You can find it and download it. It's Michael Dillinger, and the name of the song is Revenant, and you're hearing it first right here on Unsigned 518's Halloween special.
From my skull burns the forest of sight. It lies the graves call me for the frontiers that fly. And though my flesh slowly rots, I feel as though I am a thought. Bones creak, my soul aches, the death rattle calls. It causes me to shake. The green flames claw me within them lay. My mortal husk said, the ice causes my memories to freeze. It summons stakes to bring me to my knees, and slowly chain my hatred and hunger to burn me to ashes with organs plundered. My bones creak, my soul aches, the death rattle calls. It causes me to shake. The green flames claw me within them lay. My mortal husk said, when whistle silently essence decays, painful feeling my spirit slain. Physical scene where
Hey, it's Maddie from Nerdy by Nature. Come on down to 99 Ferry Street to our new downtown Troy location. Shop some oddities, haunted antiques, 15 small makers and vendors. We're open every day but Monday and Tuesday at 99 Ferry Street. Come on down.
Oh, better. Oh, that's lots better. Oh, that's good.
And now it's time for the farm report.
He was a country boy writing rhymes, but they were really just some poems, and they were all so whack that most people would act like they ain't know him. He tried to prove it to his friends, maybe even show him how for the last 10 years in the game he was growing. Give him 10 more years, just let him keep flowing. Another 20 years and he promised he'll be in foreign countries getting that cheese from street touring. But meanwhile, back in New York, he's still boring. He's eating popcorn and watching internet porn. He got so fat, didn't fit in his Ralph Lauren. The friends he went to high school with, they'd all ignore him. And a panel of rap analysts, they held a forum. He didn't get invited, so he snuck the back door in. Right in time to hear the people say they don't adore him. Decided to become a farmhand and stop flowing, cause crop growing was better than forever not blowing. He lived upstate in a small town called Fonda, whipping a black Civic Honda, and he's hanging out with Rhonda, eating mushrooms from the cow dung. Now he's sprung, chilling in the shade, getting paid with the lady marmalade, the Indian apple orchards and such. But to shift clutch, he must keep stacking up the ducats till them shits go bust. Pow! He invented his own language. When he do them drugs, he's starting to vanish and reappear. You can see him crystal clear, 12 o'clock midnight, when the stars is all aligned. Somehow these rhymes are designed to get you intertwined with your own inner mind. Could you go inside for a second, think about it, you're still growing. Green shit all over his fingers. Perfume still lingers from the other night when they had the freaky episode. But they never thought their new children would explode. She said, I'm bringing out the best in you. This shit is real. What you dream about is just a view. But he sees himself in the vegetables. The see-through mirror, the clear alpha omega reveal. Now it all becomes too real. He realized he's the jerk standing in the middle of a crop field. Where the fuck am I?
That is Arigato, produced by Jody Lo-Fi Lobo Cowan, and that one's called Growin'. Before that, we heard Michael Dillinger with a world premiere, Revenant, new solo stuff here on Unsigned 518's Halloween special. All right, so right now is the part that I've been basically the most excited for. I love old 80s slasher movies, and Sleepaway Camp, as cheesy as it is a classic, and I had watched it many times when I was younger. And it wasn't until a couple years ago that I found out that not only was the movie shot in South Glens Falls and Argyle, but turns out a friend of a friend owns the property, and I've gotten the opportunity to go there and watch Sleepaway Camp on location there. They had a big projector and a huge barbecue, a bunch of friends gathered. That was pretty awesome. And just, it dawned on me when I was thinking about the Halloween episode. I'm like, I wonder if I could get permission to go there and do a segment of the podcast. So I reached out to my friend and asked her to put me in contact with the owner. And the owner was very cool, like right out of the gate, answered my text and was basically like, go for it, dude. Do whatever you want. I'd like to see or hear the finished products, but go ahead and do what you want. So I had permission to do it. So I went and I brought Nick Coster of Gozer with me, and we just basically stood on the beach, like right where shots of the movie, many shots of the movie are filmed, and where one of the bodies was found, and very close to where like the big shocking reveal of the movie was. And it was just such a cool experience to be there. So I am super grateful to have gotten the opportunity, and I want to, directly thank the owner. I'm not going to, say your name and then have everybody contact you and want to do the same thing. You can find out where it is, but I will say, definitely it is very much private property, and even though you could Google the filming location and they'll tell you where it is. It is definitely not cool to go there because somebody owns it. So do not do that. But anyway, here is, we're going to take just a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and it'll be me and Nick on the filming location of Sleepaway Camp. But just like with everything that I do, didn't really have too much of a plan. Just grabbed my gear, grabbed my buddy, and we drove to the location. So we'll be right back from Camp Arawak Sleepaway Camp here on Unsigned 518's Halloween special.
What's up, everybody? This is writer-director here from upstate New York, Frank Palangi, bringing you guys a new horror film this season called Souls of the Damned. It is my third independent horror movie. You guys can check out that movie on Tubi, as well as the other movies, The Lost Chronicles and The Killer Tales. All streaming for free. So guys, if you can go and check it out, I hope you have a nice and scary Halloween. Check out Palangi Films, and I will see you guys soon.
Welcome to this special segment of my Halloween episode of Unsigned 518. I teased this a few weeks ago. I'm here with Nick Kosser of Gozer, and we are standing on the beach where Sleepaway Camp was filmed, the 1983 slasher movie, actually right to my left. And if you're listening to this, you can see it on YouTube. You can go, we're going to put it on YouTube, and you can go check it out over there. But anyway, to my left is where, what was it? Was it Ricky?
Not Ricky. I think we came up with Kevin. I think it was Kevin.
Kevin? Oh, well, whatever. Where the
big fans of the movie.
In Sleep. I mean, I've watched it a couple times. Where he gets killed under the canoe. Oh, by the way, fucking huge spoilers throughout this entire thing. But where the kid gets killed under the canoe, and then the next day they find him underneath the canoe, like partially decomposed on the beach. Well, like right here, about 10 feet to my left is where that dead, decomposed body is. And another thing, before we get started, I do want to note, if anybody is thinking of coming here and doing this, do not do that, because this is private land, and I have expressed written consent from the owner to be here doing this. So if you do not have expressed written consent from the owner, don't come here, because it is called trespassing and it is super illegal. But Nick, before we get started, you said you watched a movie very recently. We were talking about it on the ride over. What are your, I guess, overarching thoughts of the 1983 slasher classic Sleepaway Camp?
I think it is a disaster piece. One of those ones that fits in the category of it's so bad it's good. Objectively looking at the dialogue on paper, you're like, no, come on, you're not gonna say that, are you? But somehow that just, like, when it's all put together, it works. It's comical, and the rewatchability, I think, as you said in the car, is very high.
The rewatchability is high, and I think it's because, like, the acting itself is not, there's hardly any flat acting, and like that's what like kills it in a lot of like lower budget horror movies is some of the flat acting like takes you out of it. Like this, almost every performance is like up and over where like it should be, which is why it makes it so rewatchable. So I want to, starting at the beginning of the movie, so in the opening scene, and again, spoilers fucking throughout the episode, but the opening scene where there's the boat crash, that actually was not on this water.
Okay.
That was Lake Luzerne that they filmed that. So not the entire thing wasn't filmed here. And then we talked about the exterior shots, and the interiors of the aunt's house was in South Glens Falls, and then here. Oh, and we're in Argyle, by the way. But again, don't come here unless you have permission, because you'll get shot. We might get shot. I mean, who knows, But it's what keep. Oh shit! Or I might just like dump my my equipment into the lovely lake. But yeah, so there's shots in Glens Falls. Some people will notice it has the ambulance that comes when the chef gets the oil on him. When the ambulance rolls up, it's the Fort Edward ambulance.
Hudson Falls, Fort Edward on the top, Hudson Falls on the bottom. Yep.
So like they were like leaning right into it. And then another thing I was saying that you didn't realize is that James Earl Jones, the Darth Vader himself, who recently passed, his father plays the cook in Sleepaway Camp. And if you watch Sleepaway Camp and you pay attention to the cook, he sounds like, I mean, you may not notice it like not knowing it, but now that you know it, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's definitely James Earl Jones' dad, because he sounds exactly like him. And his name is something like, I can't remember what it was, like, Patrick Earl Jones or something, but it was an Earl Jones last name. So James Earl Jones' dad filmed on this location. And and I'm sorry if I'm doing all the talking.
You're good. You're good, man. You're good.
I knew this was going to happen, but as we look around, none of the buildings that, like, because it was Camp Algonquin is what it was called back in the day, and actually the director of the film went to Camp Algonquin when he was a kid, and that's like, why he like filmed here. It was Camp Arawak in the movie or whatever, but so none of the cabins exists. Like there is, a structure up there, but that's a new structure, and then here or whatever. But none of the cabins exist. But they were all, and we'll, if you're listening, go over to YouTube, because me and Nick are going to do a little bit of a walking tour in a little bit and check some shit out. But that'll just be on YouTube. But if you're watching, cool, stick around. But yeah, so over on that hill is where the cabins were, but there's still the tennis courts and the overgrown baseball field is still there. But yeah, so we're here as the sun's going down, which is perfect, and it's going to make some really, really solid footage. But yeah, so Sleepaway Camp was a direct ripoff of Friday the 13th, which was a direct ripoff of
The Burning?
Nope. Halloween.
Oh, God. All right.
Well, I mean, not a direct ripoff story-wise.
I'll be in the
like,
car.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. But Sean S. Cunningham basically was like, hey, did you hear about that movie Johnny Carpenter made? I don't know if he called him Johnny, but I imagine there was a lot. It was the 70s. There was finger guns, a lot of cocaine.
Johnny,
But,
Johnny C.
hey, he made a lot of money with it. Let's make our own. And that's how Friday the 13th came about. And then Sleepaway Camp was like, hey, they made a slasher movie in a camp. Let's make one of those. And that's how this got.
Camp slasher movies are hot right now. Let's double down on that.
Yeah, 1983 they were very hot. I think they were on Friday the 13th part 3. Yeah, 3. 3 was no, 3 was 82 because 4 was 84. And there's because it was
cranking those out back then.
Yeah, it was 80, 81, 82 and 84 for the first 4.
I was just thinking about the Jones household, So Sleepaway Camp came out in '83,
correct?
And they for sure had their first Star Wars done by then. They probably Empire Strikes Back wasn't done yet.
Wait, what are you talking about?
When did Empire come out?
Empire came out in 1980.
Okay, all right. So
Return of the Jedi was 82. So like the Star Wars fucking saga was wrapped up.
Hear me out.
Actually, the summer, at the end of the summer when they filmed, because they filmed summer of 80 or end of the summer 82 around now, because you'll notice if you watch Sleepaway Camp, it's fucking fall and not summer. Like if you look around, like it's fall. But so Return of the Jedi was probably still in theaters when they were filming.
Okay, so even better. So that's like peak time, right? I can picture the Jones household, like the dad. James, I'm a bit of an actor myself. I don't know if you've seen Sleepaway Camp.
I was in this little film called I don't know. I can't do a James Earl Jones accent, but like or voice.
It sounds like you're.
I was in a Yeah.
Kind of Fat Albert right now.
Yeah, totally. But like, is that right?
I was asleep.
I don't do voices. I don't know. The only voice I do is I do a Killer Hank Hill. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it here. But if you see me in public, ask me to do a Hank Hill. But anyway, as the sun literally, since we've been talking, has now dipped behind the mountains, so we should probably wrap it up and get on our walking tour. Should we play? We should play the Gozer song that we played on last year's Halloween special, unless you have one that's more spooky and monstery and Halloween related.
No, I hadn't even planned to have one of ours on, so thank you.
Fuck
that
yeah.
works. All right, thank you.
All right, sweet. Well, we're going to wrap it up and go on our walking tour. Again, go over to YouTube. It's just at Unsigned518 and watch me and Nick patrol the grounds of Sleepaway Camp as people are winterizing the RV. They're winterizing the RV as we speak. But we're going to walk around. They don't seem to mind. And right now, let's listen to My Design by Gozer, and then we'll be right back.
Drowning in sisters, forming new blisters, bodies lost to a fire. She said to God a cyanide, and it's all by one's design. Raise deadites from a hook, hanging victims from a hook. What's your pleasure? What's your pain? 'Cause where we're from, it's all the same, and it's all by one's design. Screams like thunder, they'll put you 6 feet under. Mass killers in the hood, Rick, Popeye philosophers, tempest drinking blood like wine, hotels that can't see you shine, and it's all by one's design. Trapped in our gentle touch, and Victoria's dust research, scared by what isn't seen, forever chased within a dream, and it's all by one's design. Screams like thunder, they'll put you 6 feet under.
That is Gozer with my design here on Unsigned 518's Halloween special. And I want to thank you so much for sticking around, for listening to this two-part show. If you did, maybe you just tuned in, to one episode or the other. But either way, I appreciate it. And if you enjoyed what you heard, or you want to help the show in any way, the best way to do it is to share it with a friend. And by share, literally, copy a link and text it to a friend, or use a QR code. I've got, QR codes on my business card. You could use the QR code, and you can just, literally share, or even just talking about it, as long as you're, talking good. But that really, really helps everything grow, and it's growing a lot now. And obviously, the return of Metroland, we did our first print edition, so that is taking off, and Unsigned 518 is very much a part of that, and I'm very much a part of that. So that's growing. The show is growing. Everything is good. The music scene is alive and well in the 518, and it's because of you. You get out there and support music, and that's how we get it done. So go to themetroland.com, and you can check out the concert calendar right on the front page. You just hit what's happening, pulls up the concert calendar. But you can also, if you don't see anything on there, you can add to the calendar if you're in a band or you own a venue. If you've got an event coming up, there is a place right there. If you go to themetroland.com, there is a contact us, and you can go and submit a form and your events, and then we can get it onto the calendar, and that'll put you on our radar, so we can kind of keep everything going and growing, and we can all definitely do this together. So again, I super appreciate you. Have a safe and happy Halloween, and I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned 518,
and I'll see you on the road.
Unsigned 518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you would like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening, or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.